We're asked to sketch the vector AB in the plane with the initial point -1, 4 and terminal point 3, -2, then also sketch the equivalent position vector or the equivalent vector in standard position. We'll do the first example by hand, and then we'll use the online graphing tool for the second example. To begin, we plot the initial point of -1, 4. Next, we plot the terminal point of 3, -2. And now we sketch the vector starting at the initial point and ending at the terminal point. This is the vector AB. And now we want to sketch the equivalent vector in standard position, or the position vector, which means the same vector with the initial point at the origin. Before we do this, though, let's find the component form of vector AB. Analyzing vector AB, notice from the initial point to the terminal point, we move right 4 units, and then down 6 units, which indicates the x component is +4 and the y component is -6. So let's go ahead and write vector AB in component form, where again the x component is 4 and the y component is -6. So now to sketch the equivalent position vector, or equivalent vector in standard position, we place the initial point at the origin, and then move right 4 units and down 6 units. So right 4, down 6, and then we sketch the position vector, or vector in standard position, starting at the initial point and ending at the terminal point. Before we go to the online graphing tool, another way to find the component form of vector AB would be to find the difference of the x and y coordinates of the initial and terminal points. So for vector AB in component form, the x component would be 3 minus -1, and the y component would be -2 minus 4, which of course gives us the same result, where the x component is +4 and the y component is -6. And now let's look at a second example using the online graphing tool. For vector PQ, the initial point is 2, 4, and the terminal point is -2, -3. To begin, we select the vector graphing tool below the coordinate plane. Next, we single-click on the initial point 2, 4. This starts the vector. Next, we double-click on the terminal point -2, -3. Once we do this, if we move the mouse, another vector starts. To eliminate this vector, move the mouse off the coordinate plane and single-click. And now we want to sketch the equivalent position vector, or equivalent vector in standard position. Analyzing the given vector, to go from the initial to terminal point, we move left 4 units and down 7 units, indicating the x component is -4 and the y component is -7. So for the equivalent position vector, we first click on the origin, which is the initial point, and then we move left 4 units and down 7 units, and then double-click. And then to end, move the mouse off the coordinate plane and single-click. Click Submit to check the work. And we can see our work is correct. I hope you found this helpful.